Hey, good evening, YouTube. It's me, Chris, and you are watching Coins in the Wild, and I want to welcome you to the channel tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest, but I've been wanting to make a video for you guys, so I thought I'd take a few minutes and do it. And I'm not going to make this a very long video. I just want to talk about probably what's been on the minds of a lot of people is what to do while you're on your coronacation. And so I want to share a little bit with you about what I've done. Not really all that excited tonight, so I apologize if I'm not feeling well. Okay, so just to kind of get into it, the purpose for this video is to explain one of the benefits of having a lot of time on our hands, and I'm sure not everyone has had the same amount of time that I have, but I do work from home and I do other things from home, and so being at home all the time gives me an opportunity to do things that others can't. But one of the things that I thought I'd take advantage of while I was off was actually taking time to grade all of my mint state coins, and you can see those there. And so what I did is I went through my mint sets like this, and all the way back to the to the 50s, and I started pulling mint set coins apart and grading them under a 10 times magnifier like this. And one of the benefits that I had is I actually became more proficient as time went on, grading coins and trying to identify the grade of a coin. Early on, I made a lot of mistakes, I would say, but as I got through about halfway through the coins that I had available to grade, which I think approximately that are just mint state or mint set coins, I had approximately 1,200 coins, I think, to actually go through and one by one try to put excuse me, and try to put a grade on these coins. And so I did that here. You can see the year, the mint, and the type of coin it is, as well as what I thought would be the grade. Now what I did is I used the 10 times jeweler's loupe. I used a lamp on each coin to look for flaws if I didn't get the right cartwheel effect or if I saw hairline scratches. And this was actually really, really effective. You can pick up just about anything with this 10 times jeweler's loupe, and to get it, within 90% of the real grade, this is more than enough for what you need. So I recommend that if you don't have this already. But I know many of us collect these mint sets, and they don't actually grow in value when they're in the set. Sadly, if you ever go and try to sell your sets, they fetch generally $3 or $4 from a dealer. They turn around and ask anywhere from $4 to $10 for the sets, and so it's a kind of a losing opportunity. But when you break them out, there's a real potential for finding something of value. So I'm just going to flip through this real quick. You're going to notice that, for example, there's some Jefferson nickels here, and if you look closely, some of them are MS65. That's what I guessed they were based on pictures and the 10 time magnifier and comparing both. And I took my time going through them. Some coins, especially early on, I probably spent 15 or 20 minutes on each coin trying to determine what the grade was. And so yes, this was a long project, and I still got 300-400 coins left to go through, and I'm not ready to do that. It really does play tricks on your eyes after a while, so I took a break. But yeah, I found quite a few coins that were full steps, and some of them were MS65. And we'll get to some of the key finds that I found in just a moment. You'll notice too that with some coins, and I'll just, there's some examples here. These are Roosevelt dimes. With some coins, even when they were mint state 66 and 67, there was just no real value to these coins. And of course, having them in a binder like this, if you were to take them to a coin show or something, this would be a $2 or $3 book for each coin, and that's basically all you could ask for these types of coins in ungraded conditions. But it was a nice way to learn to understand what goes into the grade of a coin, and probably the most important thing that I learned comparing the pictures to the coin that I have and looking for surface marks and things like that is the luster seems to be one of the most important factors in determining whether if a coin is on an edge, so we say a mint state 67 and a mint state 68, the only thing that would bring it to a 68, all things being equal, are the luster of the coin. So the luster seemed to always be the most critical factor in determining whether or not it got to that next grade. And I'm saying that by using the pictures and comparing them to coins that I had. So take that for what it's worth from an amateur that graded approximately 800 or 900 coins on his own over several weeks. So those are the pennies, the dimes, the nickels. I'm going to flip over here to this book here. I had to get a second binder. These are Washington quarters, and you can see that the Washington quarters, even though some are like Mint State 66, and apparently have some real value to them, really. Still, I just chose, if they didn't cross $100 or some significant threshold or have the potential for being very valuable, I just simply put them in the binders. So you'll see on the lower left there's a 1985 Washington quarter from the Denver Mint, and I believe it was an MS66 and $85, but it didn't make the basket of coins that are going off for grading because it just wasn't enough potential there. And so show you those. More Washington quarters. You can see I did a lot. Here are the Kennedy halves, quite a few Kennedy halves. And surprisingly enough, Kennedy halves, unless they were in the better conditions, 67 and up, they had no real value. And so that's something you want to kind of keep in mind. So let me turn this over right here. And so then you can see what I had. And then I had some of these Susan B. Anthony dollars, and they didn't seem to have any real significance. I looked for errors. I looked for you name it with the coins. I tried to find anything that I could that might make a coin valuable, and I did the best I could. So, okay, now we're going to get to what I found. Like I said, I didn't want to make a long video, so I'm trying to keep this short. So far, this video is approximately 6 minutes. Okay, so let's get to what I found. Let's get to some of the easier ones first. Some that I went back and later pulled out of the book. Here's a few examples of coins that I realized that might have some real value. Again, this one here gets the grade for the luster. 1990 Philadelphia Mint, Washington quarter, MS66 plus, and it got the plus because of the luster, possibly $100 Washington quarter in the mint set. 1990D Denver Mint, Mint State 68, Roosevelt dime, and $400 Roosevelt dime. And so these are coming out. 1990 Philadelphia Mint, Mint State 67, Kennedy half, $375 for the Kennedy half. So there were some really valuable finds, and I pulled this out too. 1990 Philadelphia Mint, Jefferson nickel, Mint State 66 plus, full steps, $185. And I was really, really careful about the full step designations and full bands or full torch and all those sorts of things, just to be sure that I wasn't really overrating a coin. In fact, some coins I went back and looked at again, so you can see there. But I'm 100% certain on the full steps. I don't know if you can see it there. I'll try to give you what you need, but in the right light, you can see, even with the naked eye, this is full steps. So I found a lot of stuff like this, and then I'm just going to go through some examples here. These are all the ones that I had found early on for grading purposes. Just to kind of give you an idea. Here's a really interesting one that I found not in a mint set, but in a set I bought from a guy that was dumping a bunch of stuff he bought at auction. This is a Washington quarter, as you can see, from the Philadelphia Mint, and I think you can tell there it has no surface marks whatsoever. Turn it over. It's the Oregon 2005, and this quarter is flawless. Now, based on what I saw on PCGS's website, and I'm going to try to get you in as good as I can, you can see doing the cartwheel, this is perfect. And it wasn't in a mint set. It was in a postal, some sort of series I bought from a guy that bought some stuff at auction. He paid $100 for these coins. He sold them to me for $200. I said, are you sure that's all you want? He said, yes, I'm just trying to double my money. I don't even know anything about these things. So I bought it, and this is what I found. Now, interesting, this quarter, if it does come back, I think Mint State 68 plus, this quarter is a $3,000 Washington quarter. If it comes back Mint State 67 or Mint State 68 even, it's $476. So it was a nice find any way you look at it. So that was an interesting one that I found. And I won't go through all of these because there's just too many, but some of the interesting ones, let me see if I have this. Some of the surprises that I found were how valuable or how consistently Jefferson nickels have full steps. It seemed to me that even when the coins themselves had a great deal of surface marks, I'm just showing you this 57 penny. This is obviously a proof, so not part of the mint stats, but I did go through it and it is flawless under 10 times magnification. So that'll be interesting though, because it is a proof coin and they're much more difficult to grade. And let me look for something interesting here. I had a million of them and I can't think of what to show you right now. Here's another 1957 Washington quarter. Not what I'm looking for. I'll show you something interesting. Here's a 2005 Sacagawea dollar, and this coin too. You can see when you rotate the cartwheel effect, it's flawless. And like I said, I just went through them one by one, and I don't remember if the reverse is flawless. I think it was. See the cartwheel effect? No marks, no scratch. Oh, this one does. So this one wasn't the highest grade. You can see it there in the upper right above the wing, right on the rim. There's a couple of marks there, and excuse me, looks like there was a hair on that. Sorry about that. You can see there on the rim, a couple slight marks there. So this one, the reverse wasn't flawless, but on the obverse, it is. See what else I can find to share with you guys. Oh, here's another example of a valuable quarter. Same thing in that same postal series. Here's a Washington quarter from the Denver Mint. Now this one wasn't quite as clean as the other Oregon one, and you can kind of see there's right next to the 1959, just a little something there. And it's not even a surface mark, it's more like a discoloration or something. So maybe they would say that if the coin was cleaned, they would come back in a better grade, so who knows. And then you see on the left over by the edge of the lake and the trees between the mountains, there's a rim nick on that coin. So this one wasn't in as good a condition, but nonetheless, it was still really pleasing to have. More Washington quarters, Kansas. Look at that. And these are all from the Postal Series sets. Really surprising that they were in that Postal Series. There was like 5 or 6 quarters to sheet, and somehow or another they remained without any contact. And maybe it was because it was a series to the Postal Service. And there's another one. You see that beautiful cartwheel effect? See, no marks whatsoever, and it's perfect under the 10 times magnification. There's another Washington quarter. This one does have a little bit on it, but there must have been a reason why I put it in there for grading. Probably the value. 1980 Washington quarter. That's a steel cent. Another steel cent, which I've shown on earlier videos. Let me see if I can find something else that might be of interest to you guys. 1964 Washington quarter. Yeah, this one was flawless. And I made notes elsewhere if a coin had any kind of residue on it, but this one doesn't. So interesting. And I don't think the 64s are especially valuable just because there's so many of them, but it might be. I don't remember. 1962 Franklin half. Some other coins here. More Franklin halves. Another surprising thing as I went through this, I didn't realize how much, that's just something I put in there. Didn't realize how much silver I actually had. I was telling my then girlfriend at the time that I'd sold some of my silver, or I thought almost all of it. And then as I thought about it while I was talking to her, I realized that I had not sold all of my silver. So I have quite a bit in Franklin halves that are actually silver coins. I bring that up because the price of silver is down. Of course, numismatic coins tend to reflect their numismatic value versus the actual cost of silver. And but it's important to note because a lot of us have, and that was a really interesting pickup. Picked up that Kennedy half. I don't think I've ever shown that on a video, and you can see pretty close to a cameo or a decam. I don't know if it's on both sides, but that's pretty interesting, isn't it? And that is silver. So that one's another one of the silver ones that I had. So long story short, the reason why I'm even mentioning it on this video, and you're probably wondering, is because the price of silver is terrible, and I don't believe that silver will ever return to its hoped for value. Let's put it that way. And another thing too, I'm going to say this because I was watching Coin Help You Daniel's videos earlier today, and I made a comment on one of his videos that silver is done. The market makers control the price of silver using ETFs, and there's no way they're going to allow holders of physical silver to outplay them in the market. They're going to control that. Some of you remember the Hunt brothers years back. They got skinned, lost their shirt, trying to corner the market on silver. So take that as a lesson. Don't do that. I do hold a little bit of silver, only because it's in my numismatic coins. But beyond that, I did exit the silver bullion market. So I'm going to show these to you. So I hope that doesn't offend anyone. That's not the purpose of saying that. I just think that we're better off putting our money someplace else. I put quite a bit of money in the stock market earlier today. Here's a 2005 Kennedy half. Here's a Jefferson nickel. These are all the ones that I found that had some substantial value to them, and so that's why I'm actually encouraging people to go through your coins, see what you find. You might find something that is really quite valuable. So, and I'm interested to see some of these coins and what they come back at later on. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today, YouTube. I know it's kind of a messy video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you take advantage of the opportunity to break out those mint sets, to become skilled at grading your own coin collection. And you can do that by using the PCGS website, looking at the images, and also by picking up the 10 times loop magnifier, and then getting a bright lamp, and then just take your time going through one coin at a time. You'll notice after a number of coins that your ability to find a grade and look for certain details in order to know that a coin would carry a certain grade, you're going to find that it gets better and better over time, and that's something that I noticed with myself. Well, thanks again, YouTube, for watching. I didn't want to make this a long video. It's 17 minutes long as it is, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you find treasure in your mint set collections, and I hope you have a great night. That's me, Chris, and you're watching Coins in the Wild. Thank you, YouTube. Have a great night. Bye now.